This is Exploring the Human Brain with Leah Gregory. This is a brain model. The major part is the cerebrum, which is the biggest part of the brain. It includes the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, and the temporal lobe. The human brain is divided into three parts: the cerebrum and the cerebellum and the brainstem. But today we'll focus on the cerebrum and the cerebellum. This is the original brain model. This was created by an American neuroscientist called Paul MacLean. It's based on the division of the brain into three different parts, which is the theory that the brain is divided into a hierarchy. This is called the triune brain. This is the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. It contains all the lobes that were shown on the first slide with the different functions. This part of the brain produces different roles like emotion, thinking, learning, memory, and the cerebrum is also divided into a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere. This is called hemispheric lateration. It's the idea that the different hemispheres have different functions. The left hemisphere is supposed to be responsible for language functions like grammar, vocabulary, and speech. The right hemisphere is supposed to be responsible for functions like that, how objects relate to each other visually, depth perception, and skills like reading maps. They're joined together through a band of neural tissue known as the corpus callosum. The nerve tissue allows the hemispheres to communicate with one another. This is the cerebellum. The cerebellum is located in the back of the brain and plays a very important role in movement, balance, and coordination. Without this part of the brain, you would not be able to move. You wouldn't be able to have skills like riding a bike or running or walking. First, we will get into the frontal lobe, which is in the cerebrum. The frontal lobe is the largest of the lobes and is located in the front of your head. It's responsible for decision-making, your personality, your characteristics, and most people say that this part of your brain hasn't fully developed until you're in your 20s. This is the parietal lobe. This lobe is located in the middle part of the brain. It's responsible for identifying objects, understanding spatial relationships, and interpreting your pain and your touch. It also helps your brain understand spoken language. Without this part of the brain, you wouldn't be able to understand how people communicate with each other and understand their speech. This is the occipital lobe. This lobe is located in the back of the brain and it helps with your vision. It's how you see different shapes, colors, and remember people's faces. It's also how your brain calculates the size and the distance of objects. Finally, this is the temporal lobe. The temporal lobe is located on the side of the brain. It's responsible for facial recognition, like the occipital lobe, storing memory, and understanding language and expression. Without this part of the brain, you wouldn't be able to process your emotions and your reactions, and you wouldn't be able to remember people's faces. You wouldn't be able to remember anything. So if someone's memory were to get messed up, it would be because the temporal lobe has an issue. This is a fun fact about the amygdala, which is a small almond-shaped structure located under each hemisphere of the brain. So it's located under the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain. It is the part that regulates your emotion and your memory. You see that it's on the side of the brain, so it's near the temporal lobe. It regulates your emotion and memory, so when you see a threat, it triggers your fight or flight responses. Here are my references. These are my website references and my image references.